Aloha, you're probably familiar with the island of Oahu in the state of Hawaii as being a popular tourist destination. However, did you know that it's also an island that is threatened by invasive plants and animals? Well, today I'm going to tell you a story about an invasive plant called Miconia that we're actually controlling so well on Oahu that I was forced to create a model to show you how bad it is there. I work for the Oahu Invasive Species Committee, otherwise known as OISC, and we're a voluntary partnership of organizations that are united to control invasive species that are just getting a foothold on Oahu. Oh, I guess I had more to say on that slide earlier. Miconia is our #1 species. Mature Miconia produces millions of seeds per year. It grows up to 50 feet tall, forms dense stands, and basically when it grows, no other plants can grow under it. Its large leaves also prevent water from seeping into the watershed. We've only to look at Tahiti to see an example of the threat that Miconia poses. Miconia has formed dense stands, displacing almost 80,000 hectares of Tahiti's native wet forests. Similarities in the climate and topography make the similar situation in Hawaii possible. On Oahu, initial Miconia control was performed by the Department of Agriculture with funding from the Department of Land and Natural Resources. OISC came on the scene in 2001 to continue the systematic control. There are also tons of dedicated volunteers that have contributed to this effort. Now, because of the great job that we've all done, I can only make maps of where Miconia used to be. To rectify that, I made a model to show where Miconia could spread if we weren't doing our job so well. The Miconia model includes age to maturity, dispersal distance, and the number of seeds that a Miconia plant produces. However, I only used 20 seeds out of 1 million per year because my computer crashed. So anyway, I also clipped to rainfall and streams, extracted impervious surface values, and extracted slope values. And these are all based on what the literature says for Miconia, or based on our field observations. To start off the model, I took the Miconia that we found in our last survey cycle as this initial points. Are those yellow? Okay, so those yellow buffers are our aerial and ground buffers that we survey on a 3-year cycle. Here's the progression of the model going for the first 9 years. As you can see, the Miconia quickly spreads to go even outside our buffers. And the buffer distances are, the outer buffer distance is 1 mile, so about 1,600 meters. So who should be concerned about, and this is year 10, our final progression, who should be concerned about Miconia spreading? Well, if you're the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, there's a Oahu National Forest Reserve that would quickly be overrun by Miconia. And if you're the Department of Land and Natural Resources, there are a lot of forest reserves that also would have Miconia encroaching on your borders. The Board of Water Supply also has land and that would have Miconia run over it. And on a larger scale, Miconia would form dense stands that would alter the water regimes on Oahu and would prevent water from soaking into our aquifers, which is where we get a lot of our drinking water. Also, if you happen to work on the nearshore waters or go surfing on the shore, you would be concerned about the runoff from Miconia. Here's the upper Mānoa Valley. This is actually where I grew up. This is a close-up to show you more of the model output and the spread of Miconia. And when I zoomed in here, this is the upper Mānoa with the model output. So each of those dots is a Miconia plant. And I don't know about, when I first saw this, I thought, oh, I must have done something wrong with the model because that's a lot of points. But when I actually thought about it a little bit, all my variables were very reduced. And when you look at the pictures from Miconia and Tahiti, you see that all of that mountainside is covered by Miconia. So, you know, maybe my model is actually pretty realistic. So the next time you're on vacation or going through your daily routine on Oahu, remember this image and that the Oahu Invasive Species Committee is working hard with its partners to continually control an invasive species like Miconia to preserve the quality of life on the paradise that you work and play in. Mahalo for your attention.